Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for ETR's October 2024 State of Gen AI Findings webinar. My name is Eric Bradley, Chief Strategist and Research Director of ETR, and I will review some key findings from this survey period. While many esteemed speakers and brilliant minds in the industry preach about the potential of generative AI and large language models, both for good and disruptive, ETR will leave the prognostication to them. We are here to deliver a true snapshot of where generative AI stands right now in the world's largest organizations based on our data and our qualitative interviews with our community. We have the best insight to that due to our data set, so let's dig in. While most sectors we track are seeing year-over-year declines in spending, it's the ML AI sector that stands out here with the most positive growth trajectory in forward-looking spending intentions. Interestingly, the early narrative was that AI would kill RPA and traditional business processes software use cases. And while the early data collected in 2023 did see that start playing out, that alignment has reversed, with BP and RPA showing year-over-year growth in their spend velocity. It seems as if the companies in these spaces have repositioned themselves as facilitators and not casualties of the movement. This is all happening in the backdrop of a tepid IT spending environment. When ETR came out with its initial 2024 IT spend estimate at just below 4%, we caught a lot of pushback, especially when GART was above 9% at the time. Now sitting here in the fourth quarter, we all know due to a myriad of factors, most organizations have remained very cautious with their spend throughout this year. The dollars right now are mainly being driven by vendor pricing increases. But internally, organizations are focused on cloud infrastructure and ML AI. This quote here from a director of data science reflects that. Before we move on, I am happy to share that the initial forecast for 2025 from ETR's Macro Views survey is higher, at nearly 5% growth for next year, with that number jumping to 6.5% growth when isolating to the C-suite decision makers. ETR has been tracking the quarterly State of Gen AI surveys since early 2023. In this October 2024 iteration, we saw participation from more than 1,770 IT decision makers, 417 of which represented the Global 2000 Index, and which also included more than half of the Fortune 500 organizations. And we will begin this Gen AI data journey by reviewing the Gen AI evaluation to production cycle, the specific use case trends and conversion rates, as well as persistent barriers to Gen AI production. Here we take a look at the trend of use cases in evaluation. Back in April of 2023, when ETR first launched a State of Gen AI series, more than half of respondents stated they were not evaluating any Gen AI use cases at all, a number which has plummeted to just 12% in our current survey iteration. Remarkable in such a short amount of time to see it go from basically a 50-50 coin flip to almost 9 out of 10 in realization across such a large swath of different enterprise companies. And remember, this isn't just a sample of modern tech-savvy companies where evaluation rates are approaching closer to 100%. This data is among all respondents, including those with legacy tech debt. Now, moving forward from evaluation to actual production, we see that 3/4 of respondents who indicated their organization evaluated generative AI use cases are already leveraging the technology in a production environment. This rate has slowly but steadily grown from 65% 12 months ago. However, the specific use cases that are most likely to make it into production are internal facing and not client facing, which include what many people would consider lower level tasks such as text and data summarization, writing copy, and collaboration improvement. The disparity between internal support and external customer facing support is telling about exactly where the technology stands from a trust level today. Lastly, on the DevOps side, the use case rate there has not grown as much as many have anticipated, but seems mired in a consistent mid-20s range. Again, this is showing all respondents, but when cutting the data among IT telco respondents, trends slightly higher than what we've seen here. Remember, you can use our research platform to cut this data by any subsector sample you would like to dive deeper into our data set. And now on to conversion rate. Our data illustrates that the conversion rate from evaluation to production stands at 75% in aggregate, up sharply from 58% 18 months ago. And by use case, again, text and data summarization, along with collaboration improvement, lead the use case conversions. External customer facing support is the laggard here. So even though it's a small number, why are those organizations not converting to production use cases? At this point, only 313 of the more than 1,700 are not in production. However, of those, the clear leading reason why is that they are still in the evaluation phase of the process, a number that is persistently stagnant over surveys. Data privacy, security, and legal compliance remain persistent. One of our community members explicitly states that data privacy is a constant concern in the quote shown here. In other conversations with our IT community, we often hear that stalled evaluations has a lot to do with legacy debt and a lack of proper IT skills that are in-house, especially for certain industry verticals that might not be as nimble as cloud-first business models. Lastly, although to a lesser extent, a lack of accuracy or performance of the Gen AI technology in use was still being cited by this non-production group.